All right, y'all, give me a chance to get your watch party started. It is the One Nycha show, and boy, we got some stuff going on. We've advanced technically. We live on Zoom, man. We're advancing. I love it. Saundrea Coleman, pass me my shades, man. I can't run around looking like this. I gotta look like the superstar that I are. Now I'm comfy. So I'm gonna start cracking the mics around the room a little bit. We have a couple of special guests that are coming on. We have a special guest host that's happening right now. Yeah, we're gonna let it ride. I'm opening it up a little bit. Yep. Let me get some mic checks.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, stands in the room. Saundrea Coleman.
One Nycha.
One Nycha.
One Nycha.
Here we go. Lift off. We're lifting off.
Yeah, the intern's on the mic today.
Yeah.
Share.
I love that. Yes, make sure y'all share, y'all, please.
Here we go.
We got too much important information to talk about. Yeah, big shout out to Gary. Gary's in the building. I see you. Let me just do some sharing real quick while I'm on it. Share. Share only to me. Share to the public. All right, y'all, so let's get this show started. But I got to drop it on the beat. I don't want to sound all unprofessional.
So you the DJ.
That's it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and there it is, y'all. All right, we're in effect, man. Listen, I want to welcome everybody back to the One Nycha show this week, because last week it didn't go too well, y'all.
Yeah.
Last week we had some internet ghosts come in here and shut it down.
Yeah.
Right?
It was rough. Things happen, though. Things happen.
Things happen, man. Sometimes, that's the world we live in, isn't it?
But we recovered, right?
Oh, 100%.
We're here today.
And we're here
we
today.
did a little quick video outside, right?
Yeah, that's right. And we are full force today.
Yes.
Not only we back, but we got Zoom going on. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Zoom, baby.
That's something different.
So this week was a pretty good week. For me, relatively uneventful. Figuring out some new technical things that we're doing with the studio, some upgrades and stuff like that. I did a bunch of teaching this week, and it was pretty. I guess it was pretty light. I didn't do too much. It was all about the studio.
Okay.
A lot of studio and editing. That's what I did. Saundrea Coleman, you are the ultimate activist, and you're always active. So what'd you do this week, Saundrea?
Well, I'm going to just go back a week just because we weren't here last week.
Oh, right,
I got to
right.
get some important stuff out. Do you want to do that too?
No, because I can't even remember what I did last week.
So because I did some big things, so I need to discuss that.
Please do.
So on election day, we had voter support in my development through the Homes Isaacs Coalition. Rebecca Lamore helped out at 6. We did 2 shifts, 6 a.m. We had Dunkin' Donuts and coffee.
Beautiful.
And we was just in music, and we had voter registration forms, and we was just encouraging the people. We was out there for a few hours, and then we did a second shift at 1 p.m. And we had 2 pizza pies from Delizia. They donated that. Rebecca and I actually paid for the Dunkin' Donuts in the morning, but we had Delizia Restaurant, the pizzeria on the Upper East Side, donate. So shout out to them. They donated two pies and a large pan of pasta, and it was delicious. And people were just so excited about that we were just out there, helping them, because in the morning, that's when the real rush was coming on. Mm-hmm. And also then on the 6th of that week, Homes Isaacs Coalition, we had our virtual court hearing, and we're still going strong with that. As you know, residents from Isaac Houses and Homes Towers sued Nycha on December 13th of last year. Our case is still going strong. And we sued for repairs. We did an HP action lawsuit. We sued for repairs in our apartments and our common areas, and also for sanitary conditions, so meaning cleanliness. So that's ongoing. And, I'm still busy in the street doing, my activism. And like Rock always says, I'm always helping the neighbors and stuff like that. And also I'm a organizer with UES for BLM, Upper East Side, for Black Lives Matter, Today is our 167th day straight.
Gotta give her the beat.
I mean, that is commitment.
That's big. Huge.
That is commitment right there.
Yeah, seriously.
We've been out there since June 2nd, straight, every day, no matter what the weather was. And I was on a community board meeting, and they was talking about renaming parks or dedicating a site. And I happened to be on it, and I'm a member of the community board, so I'm asked for the application. So hopefully we can dedicate that site if we get approved for UES for BLM, and do something in that realm of that. So that's it. But other than that, same old mass distribution
Great work.
stuff.
Great work. Right on.
Yes, sir. All right, Jeff, we're gonna have to talk about your computer use. Okay. What else we got? Stan.
Yes.
Stan. Hold on, let me switch it over. We gotta see Stan. Because Stan's got big things going on. What's up, Stan?
Well, this week was very, very busy. I'm gonna talk about last week because we had the press conference in front of 250 Broadway. Had a great turnout of Nycha residents from all around the city, all boroughs, I think represented, except, we had Brooklyn there too. We had someone speak from Brooklyn too. I don't think the Bronx, but it was really, really good. We got some great footage thanks to Shayna here. But we got a real strong word out to support those residents who are going on strike. And they're going strong with that, so it was good for that. And we're going to do another press conference this coming Saturday. This one's going to be in front of Astoria houses. That's going to be the situation there where they are still without gas. They're on 53 days now without cooking gas. So they're not going to be able to cook for Thanksgiving. Yeah. They're not going to be able to cook for Christmas. And on top of that, we found out some of the residents don't have heat. So it's just a real awful situation there. So we're going to have a press conference. Bring some elected officials out, really draw a light to all that situation.
So I mean, how are they eating now? Like,
they got to go out and buy food. They have a lot of folks delivering food to them, so there's a lot of support. But still, this is 7 days a week. You can't deliver food 7 days a week. So they're losing money.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I know when people are without gas, Nycha provides one hot plate when you have 4 hours, which is crazy.
So
one hot plate.
Imagine cooking Thanksgiving dinner on one hot plate, and you got people in your house.
They can't even splurge for 4. It's ridiculous.
No,
it's ridiculous.
And turkey got to go in the oven.
Right.
Okay. Right.
It is absurd. And the last thing I want to mention, we're about to launch our lawsuit against Queensbridge North. Okay. So we got the residents all set up. They're going to be talking with the attorneys this week to kind of gather up the information, and then we're going to move forward. And that'll be the first of several lawsuits with Queensbridge North and Queensbridge South, Ravenswood, and Astoria houses for this total nonsense they're dealing with there. Amazing. So we're moving forward. But I definitely want to give a big shout out to Shayna. You're going to talk to her in a minute. She's been out there with me all throughout, capturing phenomenal footage. We did an impromptu interview with Miss Sylvia Lester.
She was sitting on the bench, right?
Oh my God. And Shayna caught that moment, and I think it's over 1,000 views now. So I'm glad she was there.
Oh, listen, y'all was like at 750 when I was watching it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I said, what the blood fire Shayna can't do it there. Get some views like that.
Yes. She did a really good job. So I want to give a big shout out to Shayna. And Shayna, tell us.
Field reporter.
Yes.
So I'm Shauna Kay, and I'm the One Nycha's field reporter / intern. And this week has been a very interesting week. Like the interview with Miss Leslie was very, very prolific.
Emotional.
Like because every Wednesday when I'm out there talking to her, like she always just pretty much tell me like, she's having these issues. So when we had that success story that she actually got the appropriate repairs that she'd been fighting for before 2018, to me, that was just powerful.
Wow. Okay.
And Miss Leslie always said that the content that she learned to get to where she got to with her success, she said with many court appearances is what made her get that success. So it was just very, very, very powerful to just get that footage on camera. And I'm glad that it's shooting on Facebook. And guys, I need you to just follow Stan and just watch the video, because I feel like there's a lot of people that she hit the nail on with that information,
really
And even like yesterday when I was out there with Stan at Astoria houses, it was just like heart wrenching to just hear these people really not going through with no heat. There's an 84-year-old lady that lives with her grandson, and she says that every day she has to eat out. She has to buy it. She said, I'm a woman that loves to cook.
Right.
I like to use my stove. I don't like to eat out. And then it gives her a magnitude of fear because, the COVID cases are spiking.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So she's saying like, that to me is an issue. And then she even went on to say that they reduced her food stamps.
Oh, wow.
So that's even more issues that she's going through.
Right, she's dealing. She's
Yeah.
dealing.
I would
Wow.
think without heat and gas, those two essentials, NYCHA should be putting these residents up in hotels or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, instead of having them live like that, you know, because that is just horrible. That's two
Yeah.
necessities
Yeah.
that you pay your rent for. And they better make sure they get rent abatements. The elected officials better work with them with that.
Right.
But that's just unheard of. I mean, they can do that. There's a lot of spaces. And there's also a lot of apartments that are not rented, co-op apartments and
Absolutely.
condos. They can take charge of that, you
Absolutely.
know.
I mean, in the condition that they're living in,
Yeah.
that's damn near homeless.
That's
the only
on
difference
top,
is that
right.
the only difference is you're just not outside on the
Right.
street.
Exactly.
Right.
But heat is essential, and so is gas,
Gas, yeah.
right? What's next? The electricity's
Right.
out.
Oh
like,
my goodness,
Right.
right?
what are
Right.
we doing? That we're one step from that, really.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So
It's really
That's
insane.
very
It's really
ridiculous.
insane.
So that's what the week was, huh, guys?
Yes.
Well, it was very productive.
All right.
It was very productive. So Stan, you have some special guests.
Yes, I do.
Right?
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
this is really big because you're talking about people that contributed to NYCHA,
Right.
to the culture of NYCHA,
Right.
and the good things that NYCHA can be.
Right.
So I'm going to let you, kind of go with it and introduce the special guest, bro.
Sure. You know, most times this show focuses on a lot of the negative things that happens in NYCHA, and there's a lot to talk about when it comes to things that are not so positive. But then there are some great things that happen in NYCHA as well. You know, I grew up in Lafayette Gardens in Bed-Stuy, and there were some role models that I looked up to that really kind of pushed me into what I'm doing now. Is I've seen them do it. You know, really serving the community and doing all kind of great things. So the first is my basketball coach, Mike Senior. You know, who's his dedication goes for generations. I'm talking about 30, 40, 50 years of teaching kids not just basketball but life. You know, I'm talking about somebody that would get up before we got up and sweep the park so we could play ball. I'm talking about somebody that put his own money, his own time, you know, just out of pureness of his heart, you know, to really show us kids coming up a different way to go. You know, so some of us made it to the NBA, some of us did not. A lot of us got college scholarships, but mostly we learned about life, you know, and that was a real powerful lesson he's continuing to do to this day in Lafayette Gardens to this very day. Then the other gentleman is Larry Williams, who grew up in my building. You know, now I'm 6'4", you know, so imagine having about 5 or 6 people in your building taller than you are. So the Williams family, I'm 6'4".
Wait a minute. Is he 6'4" for real?
I'm 6'4". Absolutely.
You
Yes.
don't tower over me like that.
I'm
now.
6
Okay,
feet.
we got to
I'm
size
6
that
feet
up. All right, I
4,
gotta measure
shooting
you.
guard out of Brooklyn, New York.
Wow.
But then there was the Williams family. You know, there's a lot of brothers. I think they all were like 6'8", 6'9", and
Wow.
Larry and Gabby was the other people that we looked up to. You know, we as a kid, I would go to the park and watch those guys play, and then I got a chance to see them go to college and gain scholarships and go play overseas and do all kind of amazing things. You know, so it showed kids like me, you know, that it could be done. That there's a bigger world outside of just Lafayette Gardens or the projects, and basketball actually showed that world to me. And the ones that opened the door for me to see that world and believe in it were people like Larry, who's done it, people like Mike, you know, who's done it, you know, and I think what they've done for our community is amazing. I'm talking about the basketball games in 270 Park. It wasn't just a basketball game. The whole neighborhood would come out, you know, and so for that time, there'd be no shooting, there's no problems, you know, we all enjoying the games.
What year are we talking about?
We talking about 75, 76. And Larry and Mike go back further than that. They're probably in the 60s. And they can tell you their history.
Yeah.
So there's a long history, a long tradition of basketball, but more than basketball. It was really life.
And that was a time when there wasn't real disinvestment in public
Right,
housing,
exactly.
So our community centers were open. We had health stations and so forth.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, what he was doing and you all was doing, that's when people cared about the people in public housing.
Absolutely. You know, so I just wanted to honor these guys, you know, because I really wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today if it wasn't for watching what they've done for our community. Never about the money. It was always about setting the right example. So
Well, with that being said, let's talk to Larry. Larry, you're up first. Larry, how's it going?
Oh, Myra, I'm good, my brothers and sisters. How y'all doing today?
On the Zoom.
I'm doing
How
well.
are you, Larry?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Wait, there you go. Larry, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, man, we're great. We're great, Larry. Let's talk about your history. Let's talk about what you've done, your contributions to the community. that really, what I like about it is it starts with a basketball and 2 hoops.
Right.
In the
Yeah.
middle of the projects.
Absolutely.
That's it. No, nothing else.
That's right.
Right? Larry, let's talk about it, man.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. At that time, I was around 16, 17 years old, about 6'5", 6'6". Didn't have much of a game. Didn't have game at all. But, you know, I had Mike Skinner. You had a lot of the older guys come out there, and they taught you. And at the same time as they taught you, we did not have the kind of problems we have today where when we was growing up, the drug dealers, the pushers, the hustlers, they would tell you, you don't want none of this game. You go and get an education.
Right.
If you get away from here, get away from here. So the type of example I try to set for my own brothers, I have 5 brothers, and mostly everybody's over 6'8".
Yeah.
6'8". And with Stan's been always been like a little brother to us.
Absolutely.
Little snotty, no little kid. You got to keep a foot in his behind sometime to keep him in check.
Yeah. Talk about it. Absolutely. Yeah.
They were smacking the ball out of your hand.
Yeah. Carry you straight. Yes. Yep.
So I got opportunity to, you know, went to Eli Whitney and got a chance to go to school up in Rhode Island. I lived for a year, got married, and I transferred out west with my twin brother. We played at Compton JC, one of the top JC junior colleges in the country. And then I transferred back to Pratt. And that's when things really started opening up, because I noticed Pratt was more of a community affair. I got to meet a gentleman named Mr. Harris Williams and Fred Thompson, who used to handle the Adams Track Club. And that opened up a lot of doors for myself as far as my education, because there's a one model we had in school was, what's good for you, be good to your work and your work will be good to you.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
And this is what I always tell these young cats out here today. You know, basketball is not the end of all end. All right, you don't get the chance to go to the NBA. You don't get the chance to go overseas. But you got that piece of paper.
That's
you
right.
got education. You got things that more people wish they had. Now, I had fortunate enough that I did have going to a little school like Pratt, across the street from Pratt, Lafayette Garden. Now, who would ever think I would ever get a tryout with the New York Knicks, the Indiana Pacers, Atlanta Hawks, and I eventually wound up signing with the Atlanta Hawks. And I wound up going overseas, playing in the Philippines.
So you were playing, Larry, let me just get this straight. So you were playing pro basketball.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta give you this, Larry. I gotta give you that, bro.
He was playing
Word up.
basketball.
Word up. That is so dope. All right, go ahead, Larry, keep going.
Yeah, and you know, it's just that we, and like I said, growing up in the park at 270 Park, we were family. Everybody took care of one another. We didn't have time for BS and everything out there. The little ones, the big ones, look out for the little ones all the time. It was never, it was never this like, I'm better than you, you're better than me. We just went out there, we played for good old fashioned competition.
Yeah.
And you can't find that no more. People got the first thing you do, they're ready to fight, they're ready to do this and that. Yeah. But overall, I'm blessed with an education. I have a degree in engineering and culinary. Oh, wow. So I got a chance to do things that a lot of people will never get a chance to do. See the world for free by playing basketball.
Yeah, nice.
What up? Listen, Mike, you want to jump in here, Mike? Let's let him know. We got Mike on the phone. Mike, what's going on?
Everything's okay. How you guys doing there? You guys doing a good job there.
Yeah.
I just saw where Stan. I know Stan since he was like before high school.
Yeah.
I see where Stan is going for the office. I'm like, wow.
Yep.
But that's like a lot of kids out of our program have went into other areas besides basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
So basically, I started doing this in Brownsville. And I was like maybe 10 or 11 years old.
Nice.
And before that, I was playing baseball, but my mother didn't have no money, so I said I'll switch over to basketball because we got the court right in front of our house.
Mm-hmm.
So that was in the Grand Dyke Projects, and I decided. She asked me, "What are you going to do with basketball? Because you're always studying. Like you always have all these books from the library, and you're only 10 years old, but you're studying." I'm going to be the #1 coach in the country. Fundamentals.
That's a goal.
Yeah.
That's my goal. She said, "Are you going to turn pro?" I said, I don't really want to turn pro, but I want to get young people to see education for what it really is and take advantage of the education that we're getting, which is not like the other kids in Bensonhurst. And,
Right.
you know, I understood it at 10 years old. So I said, I'm going to start a program. She said, "You're 10 years old." I'm like, no.
I was about to ask how old were you? Yeah, 10.
So I turned to 11. At 10 years old, I just studied from 10 to 11, and I just studied the whole game until I got it in my brain.
So can I get this straight real quick? I just got to ask you a question real quick. And keep your flow, because I want to be clear on what you're saying. What you're telling me is you read a book on how to learn how to play basketball.
More than one. More than one.
Unheard of. Wow.
There was a library in the Grand. It's still there. I don't know if it's still open, but it's still there on the corner of Stone Avenue in Grand Dyke, across the street from the Brownsville Projects. So the librarian knew that I was telling her what I was going to do when I became an adult. I'm going to be the #1 coach in the country, and I need to know the game. So what she did was give me all the books she had in that library. It was a small library. And then when I finished reading them, she would go from another library, and I'd come back maybe a week later and get another 4 or 5 more books.
Wow, beautiful.
So I was pretty much destined, I think, to help kids, even though I was only 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I said, okay, now that I have the knowledge of the game, now I'm going to go out and start working on my game. So every day I would go out in the summer. Every day I would go out from 4:30 to 8:30. Because in those days, the parents are very strict, and they're on top of you.
Right.
Like, there's no games.
Yeah.
It's not like the parents today.
Yeah, when the lights came on, it was time to go home.
Curfew.
Oh, you're coming in. Like, when my mother, we lived on the 7th floor. My mother, all she had to do was stick her head out the window.
Yep.
And I'm always looking up. Even though I'm working out, I'm looking up. So when I see the head come out, I know it's time to go. I just pick up the ball and start running. So, but long story short, 12 years old, the older guys in the neighborhood, we had a lot of elite players. I'm talking about top level college players in our neighborhood. They don't have that like that anymore. Most everybody's playing AAU. In those days, it was no AAU. Like you just playing big time tournaments if you're good, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So they came to me 12 years old. They said, okay, if you can get your game, we see what you're doing on the side courts. But if you can get your game together between now and next summer, we'll let you play with us. I'm like, what? See, you're talking about a 12-year-old playing with college kids.
And I have to ask a question. How tall were you?
No, Mike, Mike's a little guy. He's a small guy. Point guard.
Listen to this. I'm 5'6", but I play above the rim.
Right. Right. Mike had ups.
Wow.
Yeah, he had up. He had up.
How tall was Spud Webb? How tall was Spud Webb?
Spud was like 5'6".
Okay. All right. I know a little bit about basketball.
Yeah.
All right.
So
You know something about the game. She knows something.
I think that was an important question.
Yeah.
You don't say like you're 12 years old and
Wow.
the college kids are telling you to play.
Nice.
But you know what happened is when you dedicate yourself to something like that and you get your game solid. I mean, the whole game I already had it in my mind. So I just had to get my dribbling, my shooting, my passing, my jumping.
Yeah.
I had to get all that solid, like really solid.
Yeah.
So the next summer, they came to me and said, okay, you're going to play was at Betsy Ed Park. I never forget. Betsy Ed Park, there's a tournament over there for unlimited. You're going to be the starting point guard with us. And let me tell you, these guys are all top college players.
Nice.
And we took the tournament. We won it. And from that day, it was history after that. Then and 13 years old, I wound up playing Pro-Am.
Wow.
Not in New York, but around the country.
At 13.
A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that because I don't really tell, like this interview, I don't really give interview without my kids.
Right.
So Stan and them, Stan, Larry, Gary, his brother, Andre, TP, those are my guys.
All right.
Got you.
So that's why I came on to do the interview because Stan asked me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, long story short, I moved to Lafayette Gardens. After playing Pro-Am, I moved to Lafayette Gardens. And my friend Sullivan died.
Yes. Oh, God.
He either gets pushed out of the window from the 14th floor or he fell out.
Now, how old are you at this stage in the game?
I must be 14.
Okay.
14 or 15.
Mm-hmm.
So I go out, they knock on my door, I run outside. They say, your guy's in the grass, dead.
Yeah.
I run outside, he's in the grass.
Yeah.
And then I just ran in the house. I ain't come out for about a week. I came out, I talked to Sullivan's brother. I said, look, I'm going to make a major program for your brother and your family. Major. Not no basketball, like Stan says, not basketball. This is going to be about school.
Okay.
Right? So now I'm back in the school again. Now I'm back in the school thing. So we had unlimited, these are the divisions, unlimited, seniors, and little kids. But my plan, which even Stan doesn't know, my plan, I had a plan. My plan was to eventually get rid of the seniors and unlimited once they made the name and have little kids reap from that.
Okay.
So that's what I did. And then, so totally is 61 years working with kids. 10,000 kids. We just reached 10,000.
Beautiful. Give them some.
You gotta get the hell. You get the beat. You get the beat too, bro.
You know what? Stanley will tell you, I'm very humble.
Extremely.
Like, everything's about our people. That's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my mother taught me. It's always about your people. And always about those kids. And you got to really be serious about it because along the way, you're going to see a lot of people that fake it. They either doing it for the money.
Yeah.
They don't care about our kids.
Right.
Yeah.
My question to you
That's
is,
not me.
during this time frame when you were like 15, were you also coaching basketball during that time frame, or did that come a little
I
bit
had my
later?
own I left that out. I had my own program in Brownsville.
Okay, there you go. I'm like, you couldn't have done all that and not, done something with it.
I had my own program at 12. So I'm doing all of this, but you got to understand something in those days. We had nothing else to do. There was no computers. There was nothing.
Right.
We had nothing else to do but go outside and do something.
Right.
That's why it made it easier for me to do it because everybody was outside.
Nice.
Got you.
Right.
So then I came to Lafayette Gardens, and when my friend died, I put that program together. And like I said, I had the unlimited. We had the top players in New York City playing it. Stan will tell you because Stan was on my team.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And my plan again, because I always have a plan, was to have all the college kids come home that live in New York and play on my team and have everybody else watch how you're supposed to act and how you can make it, just like these guys, because they knew Stan and them.
Right.
Nice.
And it worked. It really worked.
Wow.
Stan will tell you.
Yeah.
It really worked. So that's what happened. So now 61 years later, 10,000 kids.
What an accomplishment.
Girls, we got a lot of girls now too.
Awesome. Hey.
We gotta help the girls, man.
That's right.
We gotta help the girls.
So
Gotta help the girls.
I'm gonna shoot this out there because I'm sure you guys have some basketball stories. So, what is or was your most memorable game that Larry and Stan played in?
Well, now Larry's a different generation, so he's older now. So
Well, Larry wasn't playing with those guys. Larry didn't play with those guys. Larry's brother played with them.
Right,
Andre.
right. Larry
He played
was
for the University of Pitt. He played for the University of Pitt.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So he played with them.
All right, so then we're gonna do
Larry was older.
Got you. So we're gonna do two separate things. Okay.
Right.
What's the most memorable game that you remember Stan playing?
Oh God.
And Stan, what was your most memorable game?
Probably against NA Rock.
Oh my God, NA Rock. Go ahead, Mike.
That's Carrie Skelly, who played for the Utah Jazz, and his two brothers and that whole crew from Notion Avenue. It was tremendous. When he tell you we had 600 people in the park, we had 600 people in the park on the fence, in the trees. It was
Nice.
It was like playing in Madison Square Garden.
I remember Mike, they was coming down the block and all you heard was NA Rock, NA Rock. They brought a whole crowd of people to our park. Like, you're going to come to our park and beat us in our park. They had Pearl Washington on the team too. So they had this powerhouse team. They won all the tournaments all around the city, and you're going to come into our park and think you're going to beat us. So that was an incredible game. But go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, tell the story.
Stan, I'll tell you the best, out of all of this stuff I did, we helped a lot of kids. But the one real memory I had was we had a game. I think Stan and I was playing too. Stan and I was going to play Pearl Washington and them. And Daddy Boogie, all these guys from Manhattan. Mm-hmm. So we're waiting. I'm looking at my watch because it's a 20-minute forfeit time. Not that I would forfeit them, but I'll scare them. So I'm looking at my watch, and all of a sudden, I see all these limousines pull up.
Limousines?
I
remember that. Yeah.
And we got our own chairs. Like, we got our own. I still have them today, a lot of them. We have our chairs. So they're coming. They're on Lafayette Avenue. That's where the park is. And all of a sudden, I thought I was seeing things. I'm looking up Playboy Bunnies.
Yes, Mike, you're telling me, you're right. Oh, God.
Yeah. We really hit the big time.
Oh, did he say Playboy Bunnies?
They came in like limousines, Playboy Bunnies, wiping their sweat while they're playing. I'm like, yo, are you serious?
Oh, this was street ball?
This is street ball.
This is how big this tournament was. It was one of the biggest ones in the country. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I remember that, Mike.
So Pearl, I say, Pearl, what are you doing? He said, don't worry about us. We take control of this. He took my chairs, moved them, put his own chairs, and put the Playboy Bunnies there.
Yeah.
Oh, took control of the park.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Oh, wow. Why don't we have that happening anymore?
It's not.
People would get offended now. They're like, oh, I'm offended you took my chair. But y'all had to take that.
Yeah, he took the Playboy, but I couldn't believe it. I was like, we must have really hit the big time. These guys brought Playboy Bunnies to LG.
And we beat them. We beat them. With all that hype and all of that.
With the limos and the Playboy Bunnies.
And you understand,
do you remember the score?
At this time, Pearl Washington was probably the biggest thing in high school basketball. It was already on the cover of Sports Illustrated and all that at a very early age. He was like a prodigy. So for that game, it was like, we supposed to lose. I remember the drug dealers bet against us.
I want to cut you off. Tell them who you had on your team.
Well, we had Andre Williams. We had only Kevin played. We had Derek Powell.
Derek Powell from where?
They're right from Lafayette Gardens.
Okay.
So me and Andre and Derek are from Lafayette Gardens, all from the same development.
Right.
And then we had a brother, Steve Daniels, on the team.
Right.
And I believe, I'm not sure, Mike, but this might have been the game. I think Malik Sealy was on our team as a young player.
I think what's his name? The one with the tie.
Like Des Sealy was his brother, the older brother. He played with us in high school.
Right, his older brother.
And then you had Malik, who was young. So this is a big game. Des gets dunked on. I remember that. He got dunked on and fouled out. So the crowd's going crazy. When you get dunked on, you got to respond, because now if you don't respond, you're gonna get blown out.
Right.
So we had to bring Malik in. Malik's not known yet. He's in high school. He comes off the bench, and I think I took a shot and I missed it. Malik tap dunked it. Boom. Everybody was like, "Who is this kid?" And then from there, he just kept shooting shots and shots. and he's a kid. He's a high school kid.
And he
kind of did what Mike did for us. Like, Malik would come and watch us play and model how we behaved and how we acted.
Right.
And we never knew he could play like that, until he got on the court and he saved the game. He won the game. And I realized then he's going to the NBA. Mm-hmm. As good as we were, he was better than us at that age, so it was tremendous experiences, tremendous.
Did he go to the NBA?
Malik played. He played for the Indiana Pacers, played for the Minnesota Timberwolves,
Yeah.
and unfortunately was killed in a car accident coming from
Right.
Kevin Garnett's house, actually, Kevin Garnett's birthday party.
Oh, wow.
And he died,
Right.
you know, and
Yep.
Malik was like a part of our little.
Pearl was with the Nets.
Yeah.
Pearl was with the Nets.
Okay.
Wow.
So y'all had
Pearl
superstars
Washington.
on the court.
Oh, definitely.
All
In the
superstars.
making, yeah, they went.
Now we gotta give Larry some. So you gotta tell Larry, what was your biggest memory?
Well, I was played at Pratt, and I was the only Division III player to play in the U.S. New York City All-Star play against the U.S. All-Star. That was with Toby Knight, Arnold Duggar, Len Elmore's little brother, Cedric Cornbread Maxwell. You know, on our team we had Cecil Relford, Rich Law, who led the nation in scoring. John Irving led the nation in rebounding. We was the top 3 Division III rebounders in the country, but I was the only Division III player to play in this tournament. And I played with Glenn Mosley. So first half I had a bad first half. I had like 4 points, 2 fouls, or whatever. They took me out. So we had Julius coaching us, and World B. Free was coaching the U.S. All-Stars.
World B. Wow.
Yeah.
So
the second half, John Irving fouled out. So Julius said, go in there, play your game, 24-second clock. And I just went to work. So I had wound up with 22 points, 25 points, 8 rebounds, and a block shot. Glenn had 25, 17, and 8. But a lot of people think I should have got the MVP because I brought them back. But it was just a great opportunity to play with great players. And then when you don't have a no name, like you're a blue chipper and nobody heard of you, that's even better because they don't know what to expect.
That's right.
And that's what I love about being a blue chipper, because when you're a blue chipper, people say, well, he's a scrub, he's this, he's that. Then when you get on the floor and you smoke them a little bit, then it's it. Damn, who's you for?
That's right. That's right. Now I'm gonna throw a name out there to both you guys. Dino Dean. You know,
oh my God, Alfred Dean.
Yeah, so
Can
y'all tell each of y'all tell y'all recollection of Dino, then I'll share.
I think Dino was better than Sullivan. How about that? And Sullivan was real. Sullivan tried out the NBA too.
Yeah.
So I think Dino was better, way better than Sullivan.
Yeah.
I think that
6'9", about 6'9", 6'10", yeah.
And he was the first kid that I thought, Magic Johnson came along, but he was doing stuff Magic Johnson did when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Stan?
Yeah, no, I remember watching Dino. I seen him dunk from the foul line in a game. Never saw nobody do that. 6'9" with a ball handle that was out of this world. I'm talking about incredible. Go ahead, Larry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Dino was exceptional. I mean, he'd come over to the school, and I mean, some of the guys came down from Rutgers, and he put on a show. They couldn't stop him. He was too quick. He was too fast. He was too strong. And he didn't even know that he had all this till a lot of things just started coming together. But he was an exceptional ball player and a great young man. And I'm so sorry that we lost him at a young age.
Yeah, I just want to say he played against Dr. J. Now, Dr. J was the Michael Jordan before there was a Michael Jordan.
Sure.
And he went to Dr. J's camp and beat him in a one-on-one. So Dr. J.
Oh, wow.
And I believe Dino would have been one of the first to go straight out of high school to the pros, but unfortunately.
Was he playing in USA team or something? I remember some big thing he was playing for.
I know. I mean,
USA.
I think he represented the country. I know he played for the Globetrotters briefly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know he went up to Rucker and just destroyed the Rucker tournament.
What year are we talking, by the way?
This was 78, 79.
77, Stan.
77? Okay.
So I just want to ask, because during this time, I think Pee Wee Kirkland was playing during this time, no? Or is this after his time?
Pee Wee Kirkland is old. He's old.
Right.
He's older than
Okay.
That's a little bit
Pee Wee
before
Kirkland.
us.
That's Connie Hawkins in them.
Right.
Right around that time.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Connie
That was
Hawkins,
in
oh
the
my God.
early 60s.
Right.
Like
Okay.
in the 60s.
Okay, so
Pee
Pee
Wee
Wee already moved
Kirkland was
on.
real, but he was an older guy.
Got you. Okay.
And so, unfortunately, the way I heard the story from my mother, the night that Dino was murdered, or the day before he was murdered, my mother was at his house talking to his mother. And Dino had the chance to go to UCLA, which was the #1 college program in the country at that time. And he also had the chance to go to the NBA, and from my understanding, I think his mother may have taken some money, but when you're going up in the projects and people are throwing stuff at you, it's what are you supposed to do? I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna probably accept it because you're in this situation. And Dino didn't want to go to the pros. He wanted to go to college. He wanted to go play for UCLA. So the night before he was killed, people came to the house and knocked on the door. My mother was there. And so she came downstairs hysterical. And we didn't really believe it. We thought you probably exaggerating. What do you mean somebody's trying to kill Dino? She said, if they'd have gotten the door, they'd have killed her too. So Dino and his grandmother left the next morning. Dino and his mother, and they went to his grandmother's house. And they came that morning and killed Dino, his grandmother, and his mother. And it was just one of the most horrible things that happened to our community. Yeah.
Wow.
So the whole neighborhood went in mourning, when this happened, we saw such a great talent that would have been revolutionary. I would say Dino would have ended up being one of the best to ever do it.
I mean, it's in the room right now. Nettie Jones says Dino was Brooklyn's best. She's in there. She's in the conversation. Wheeler, back then there was a rite of passage. Wheeler, the older folks allowed us to grow and learn.
Absolutely.
And that's Anthea Taylor who said that. I mean, the room
Jocelyn
was definitely,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, you said Dino and the room popped.
I mean, it's like a name that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know the story, but that's one of those Lafayette Garden stories, that we all in our neighborhood know and grew up and really shaped us, and motivated us.
Question. Was anybody apprehended for that? Was a
No.
triple homicide.
Triple
Right?
homicide, mafia related.
Oh, so it's a cold case.
And a cold case
And
never
we're
got
talking
solved.
about it here on Today on One Nycha. Okay.
But this is a nice story.
I know. I'm just saying it's a cold case.
And
Okay.
never
It might
got-
unearth. Because it's a cold case.
Never got resolved.
They're not closed, so it's a
Right.
cold case.
Right.
Okay, might get solved
Right.
just from it getting some, some steam right now.
Yeah.
Wow, sorry to hear that.
Stan,
Yes.
that night, the night before Dino got killed, I was with him. So I was going to go with him to his grandmother's. And he had a brown paper bag with him. And he said, nah, it's okay. I'll see you in the morning. I said, no, I'll come. I said, I'll see you in the morning. So when I got up the next day, and my father came up to me, and he said, Sonny boy, I want you to sit down. I'm going to tell you something.
Right.
Yeah, Dino had passed. I said, get the hell out of here. I just talked to him last night. I'm supposed to go. He said, Larry, there's something you don't want to know about. He's gone. So I'm going to the wake, and they had so many undercover cops there. I went there with Luther Rackley that used to play with the Knicks.
Right.
Together. And just to see him laying up there, I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe he was gone. It's like destroy my world. So I just said, it's time for me to get out of New York City. Time for me to make a change, because New York it wasn't the place for me anymore. I felt that it was like an omen, and your time is going to be up soon. So I said, let me get out of here and find a new place, a new life, and someplace better I can raise my kids. And this is where I'm at now.
Now, Larry's been all around the world. So tell him, Larry, where's all the places you've been? You and your brother, Gary, y'all have been and I think Kevin too, right? Kevin played overseas too, right? And Andre, all 4 of y'all.
Yeah, well, you see, Gary's played in just about every country. Gary lives in Germany now. Andre played in Finland. He played in Budapest. He played in South America. Kevin had a tryout with the with the Denver Nuggets, and I talked to the coach because at that time I knew Frank Layton was assistant coach with Atlanta, so I written him a letter to Frank Layton, who was now the head coach of the Denver Nuggets, and he said Kevin needs about another year of development. So myself, I played down in Santo Domingo. I played in the Philippines, the Netherlands, England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland. Yeah, that's just a few.
It's just a basketball,
Yeah.
you know, that they was able to take these guys all around the world.
All right, hold on, Larry. Hold on. How tall were they in the Philippines, bro? I'm just asking.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. When they bring Americans in, they call them imports. And they bring 2 Americans in, they're about 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", depend. And those Filipino players can play. They'll give the brothers a run for their money.
Really?
They got a boy they call Sonny Jaworski, Sonny J. He had hands bigger than Dr. J, and he could do things that you could never imagine. So,
and he was tall.
no, Sonny was 6'4".
Okay, he was stand tight. Okay.
Yeah, but I tell you, the man was a beast. He was a monster. And like I say, when you play around the world, you play against different people and you learn their culture, and that's the best part about living outside the country, learning the culture, learning about the different people and stuff. Because a lot of people, they may look at your color, but you learn their culture and you appreciate their culture, they'll open the doors for you. They'll open the world for you.
Wow.
That's true.
Now, Mike, let folks know what you're doing now. I mean, 'cause the thing with Mike, when I say he's an institution, is that you've seen all the history, you know, that he's contributed to our neighborhood. And what I love is to this very day, you know, he's still doing it. I brought my son to Mike and I said, Malcolm, you want to be a basketball player? There's only one person I know that's going to be able to show you how to do that. So Mike sat down with my son and told my son what he's going to have to do. My son wasn't ready for that. So I knew Malcolm was not going to be a ball player because you wasn't ready to put that kind of work in like Mike's going to make you do. You know, so Mike, it wasn't really just about the playing, it was the discipline, you know, the dedication, you know, and Mike to this day does it. And when you got to understand, AAU basketball is where all the money's at, you know, so if you're not really nice, you're not playing AAU, you know, so you don't have an opportunity to really play, you know, but Mike stayed true to the community, never really went that route. So the neighborhood would always have a program where whether you was the nicest or maybe not the nicest, you know, you would still have an opportunity to play, which is really, really good. You know, it was really good. So Mike, tell them how you doing now with the program.
Right now, you know, they got the pandemic. So most of the people in the neighborhood said, I didn't know you were versatile. I'm saying, versatile? You saw how I play. So, you know, I'm a versatile person. So I said, let me, you know, they were delivering food, you know, to the people. But, you know, we got the guys in the hood who want to get it and sell it. So that means our people don't have any food.
So Mike, wait a minute. You said people they're getting the donated food and taking it and selling it. Is that what you said?
That's exactly what I said.
Wow.
So I'm looking at this situation and knowing how I am in the community. I said, no, I'm shutting this down. So as they bring the food in one day, I go down early. I take the food and put it downstairs in the room and I distribute it. So they don't get to steal maybe 10 boxes when we got 70 boxes.
Wow.
So I'm still doing that. It was Monday. Every Wednesday, I go pick up I'm at a different location in the projects, but I go pick it up, bring it back to my building, and go to all apartments I know that need food. And I put it in front of their door.
Beautiful.
So that's what I'm doing now.
And that's again, my God.
So
He gets that.
we had total 55 NBA players and 256 Division I. And we got one kid who's playing at Cincinnati now. He's going to the NBA next year. His name is Keith Williams.
Wow.
He's playing at University of Cincinnati. He's a senior.
Okay.
So what I'm proud of is not that he's going to the NBA. That's not what I told him when I saw him this summer. I mean, not this summer, but, when he was home. I'm proud of the fact that you're getting your degree, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I told him right to his face, you don't know how proud I am of you.
Mm.
I know that you're a skilled player. You're going to make a lot of money in basketball. But you're going to have your degree like Stan, like Andre, like all of them.
Yeah.
GP,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
Kevin.
That's more important because if something happens
Yeah.
and you can't play no more,
Those
now what?
injuries. Yep. Those injuries.
Now what? Now what happens?
That's right.
So
That's
I'm
right.
so proud of this kid.
Yeah.
He's going to graduate this year. He'll be in the NBA some way. I don't know. He's a D League, G League, or in the league. I don't know. He had a super year last year, and I'm expecting him to have a tremendous year this year. So
Now, Mike, who's that young man you brought out? Is this the same guy you brought out the last time we were?
That kid is the real.
Yeah, who's that guy?
This kid. Let me tell you about this guy. 6'1", 6'2". Everybody's comparing him to a John Moran, right?
Yeah.
It's Stan, I showed Stan the video.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Now, this kid went to a private school in Manhattan, LREI, costs $50,000 a year for the school. It's only like 4 blocks in the whole school. So you know what he went through.
Yeah.
So now he's at Loyola Marymount, right? University of California. But he's home, right? So I sent all his stuff to the coach, or they got new coaching staff. I sent everything over there. And, coaches, it's a business. And they want who they want. They don't care how good you are.
Right.
We have our recruits. You might be better than everybody on the team, but this is what we want, what we have.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a student at the school, but not on the team. So we're thinking, I'm telling him, what you're going to do is next year when you go on campus, if you go on campus, since the coach wants to disrespect you, just like they did John Morant, they disrespected that kid.
Right.
He had no colleges. He only got one college. What is John Morant?
Right.
This is impossible.
Do y'all know who
So
John
I'm
Moran
telling
is?
him-
I'll tell you later. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm telling
and
him,
then I have a
I'm saying,
challenge.
listen, everything about John Morant, he has it, right? And I keep sending him stuff, like the coach keeps putting stuff on Twitter, little stuff on it, little words. So I take the words, I send it to him. So I'm motivating him. He's like, all right, I see what they did to John Morant. Wait till my opportunity comes. So what do I do? I'm thinking ahead. I got a plan again. I'm telling him and his mother, this is what he's going to do. He's going to be a sophomore next year. He might go on campus. They might not put him on the team. As good as he is, he might not go on the team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect him. I'm going to connect myself with an NBA agency right now.
There you go.
So I hit the agency. I had hit them in the past. I hit the agency. The president of the agency hits me back.
Okay.
He hits me right back. And he says, who is this kid? I want to sign this kid as soon as he gets out of college. I said, he's not even on the team. He's going to allow a man, he might not play. So he said, every summer, we'll get him to come out to Ohio and work out with our guys. And that way he'll be already a pro. And even if he doesn't play for the school, we'll sign him after 4 years.
Good.
Let me tell you, Stan saw this kid. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, I saw the videotape. I'm like, what?
He's unbelievable. And one of the hardest work. Listen, Stan and them work hard too, because they wouldn't got to. Let me tell you about Stan. Stan, GP, and Andre. And Larry, and them. I know about Larry and them too. But those three, they wouldn't. Listen, those are the only 3 guys that got out of the project and went to Division I at their age group.
Yeah.
Nobody else in the whole projects.
Wow. Give him some.
Right, Stan?
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, 3 of us coming up playing together for years. I mean, coming up like age of 11 or even maybe younger than that, for all of these years, and for all of us to be able to go on Division I like that, for one development. This is Lafayette Gardens in the middle of Bed-Stuy, where people think you're not going to go nowhere. There's really no opportunity. They're just not going to do it. And through the help of people like Mike and Larry and all those, we was able to beat those odds, and really show folks that, no, you can actually come from the projects. You can come from Lafayette Garden, and you can do anything, especially when you have leadership and guidance and mentorship, which I think maybe is missing now, as I don't see a lot of that when I go to these developments. I don't see the older folks, gathering the kids together like these guys did for us. And it made such a difference. There's nowhere in the world that I would have went to Lafayette, and any of us would have got a scholarship without being able to watch how Larry did it and how Gary did it, and how and what the words and the values that Mike put into us. It was way bigger than basketball. Like Larry said, we were a family. And you learned all that teamwork, through that sport. And it was so much more than putting that basketball in the hoop. It was just, it's hard to even describe, what that tournament meant to our community. If you had to be there, and I go to the parks today, I don't see nobody out there. We was out there with Craig Booth, Mike, and nobody was there. No kids, no nothing.
That's true.
And and if it was kids there, it was unfortunately white kids. I mean, I got to call it. When I saw, I was like, you know what?
That's true.
It's just white kids playing on the park, and no brothers, no kids. It was shocking to see.
You know what's wrong, Stan, these days, and I'm gonna call it like I see it. A lot of the stuff we have, electronics and everything, kids forgot how to really go out and play. And besides the pandemic, the way things are going, you don't want your kids to get shot. The thing with law enforcement, it's a whole lot of different criteria of things. And like I said, it's sad, but like I said, one parent can make one difference to another child. Like you said, Stan, when we were coming up, if a cop told you get off the corner, you got off the corner. You didn't give him no beat because you got your behind busted. Then he took you home, and your parents busted your behind. So it's a whole different era now. It comes down to respect.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. We lost respect.
Even drug dealers had respect. And gang members had respect in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't.
We had the biggest drug dealer, and I'm not gonna mention his name, but Stanley knows who.
I know it, yeah.
And so does Larry. The biggest drug dealer in New York City, number one.
And you
know what his job? You know what his job was at that? We had no incident. You know what his job was? Every day we had games, and we had games every day, all day. Mm-hmm. His job was to make sure those hoodlums stayed away from us.
Yep.
That was his job.
Yeah.
He would come in and he would stand there, and once he's in the park, now they ain't thinking about doing nothing.
Right. Like the OGs in the park.
I remember, Mike, there was an incident. I think it was a shootout. I think after that game we won, the park got shot up and he showed up. It was like, you know what?
Oh, that was one time. Yeah, one time.
Right. And he showed up. And you know what?
But you talking about one time in 40 years.
Yeah, right.
But he showed up, didn't he?
He showed up and said, you know what? This ain't gonna go down. You're not gonna have this kind of violence. And if you played ball, you was protected. They was not going to bother you if you played ball. That's how the drug dealers treated us back then. It was the same respect, the code of honor. If you played, don't bother those kids.
There was an incident one time. I don't really have problems in the hood.
Above the rim.
But there was an incident. I had a kid playing in the tournament, right? In the 14 and under. So I know he had issues. So I pulled him off the streets, gave him a uniform, said, "You play for free."
Nice.
So during the tournament, one day he decided he's going to challenge me. So I say to him, "Listen, you know who I am, right? You sure you want to do this? Are you sure?" He's like, "Wait here till I come back." I said, "I will be right here. I'm not going nowhere." When I said that, he went. He came back. This was in the summer. He came back with a trench coat, right? Just a little kid. By the time he got close to me, all the drug dealers was there with machine guns in their hands.
Oh, wow.
So then I had, listen to this, I had to save the kid's life.
Right.
Yeah. He didn't know what it was.
I grabbed him and hugged him. I said, "Listen," I told him in his ear, "You can't do this with me, man. You can't do that. You see, you almost died, man."
Right. Was nobody
gonna let that happen?
And
nobody was going to protect you. You would have been dead. That's it.
Yeah.
So this is what happens in the hood. You You know, I give everybody respect, and I expect respect back. If you don't like me, then don't be around me. That's all.
Coach Mike, because in the room, let me see, Netta Jones, she said, Coach Mike is still keeping the youth focused on educational success through his program. He's changed the lives of many of our young men from PS 270.
Yep.
We love him.
Nettie from my high school, yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
She really, you know, I mean, they really, you know, the room's lit up. But Mike,
I want to ask the host before we leave. I want to ask the host one question. I want you to think about what I'm asking you, and I know you probably have an answer, but I want you to just think about what I'm asking you.
Okay.
Today's world for our people in our neighborhoods, right? Stanley went to PS 270. Right now, PS 270 had, when Stanley was there, I was quite sure they had like 6 or 7 classes in every grade.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, they got 1 in every grade.
Yeah.
1 class.
What do you think? What do you think the reason is that we're not getting the proper education for our kids in our schools?
And I'm assuming this question is directed at me.
Yeah, you can take that one.
Yes.
You and I.
You said hope, so you would be Stan. Okay, all right.
We'll take a kick at the
I
end.
got one for her too.
I mean, interesting enough, this is what it is, right? I mean, what they're doing is you can't control smart people, right? You can't control smart people. So what they do is they take away the resources so that we are disadvantaged. And in some cases, so that we cannot learn at all, right? The worst thing that happened was in the 80s and in the 90s when they had the No Child Left Behind, right? And you could be dumb, right? And you still got passed along. You didn't have to earn the grade, right? You could just do that. What that did, right? And now you're looking at the effects of that right now, right?
Can she draw it?
They asked me to draw. They didn't want to use
Yeah,
it.
that's enough.
Okay.
Who's like, oh, yeah, what you're looking at now, the effects of that, of what you're looking at right now, is now we have a stupid society, right?
Wow.
Because, yeah, we have a very stupid society because this is over 30 years ago, right? 30 years ago, this was happening. And now these people are the adults, right? These people are me in their 50s. Right? That got passed along, didn't have to know how to read, didn't have to know how to do math, didn't understand social studies, didn't understand political science, didn't understand economics.
Wow.
They weren't taught any of these things. So now you have a generation of stupid people that are led like sheep every day. And that's how Donald Trump got in the office. And this ain't, and you can understand something. This is not, you know, This is in the Black community, but this also happened in the poor white communities.
Of course.
That's why you have these stupid people pro-Trump. But you're voting for a guy. You're a poor person, right? You're voting for a guy that's never been poor. He's never been in your shoes. So obviously you're a stupid person. You understand what I'm saying? So we've grown in less educated population. You can't lead a smart person. You got to have sheep. So what they're doing now to our kids is they are continuing the same program, and it's getting worse and worse, and they're becoming more reliant on the phones, on the phones and the computers. They are now. Here's what's happening with them. They're becoming, and I don't like to use this word, but it's the only way I know how to explain it. The kids are becoming socially retarded.
That's correct. I agree with you.
Because what's happening now, they don't even know how to relate to each other in person.
You're right.
That is true.
I see it with my own kids.
You understand what I'm saying? So they're becoming socially retarded, right? They don't know how to talk to girls. We used to know how to talk to girls. We see a girl, hey, and your whole thing was, yo, you got to know how to rap to girls. That was our whole thing. They can't even they can't even relate to each other. If they're in the same room, they're on their phones.
Right.
They're not playing with the train set or playing, what was that game, Cheesy or something. You know, nothing's happening. So to answer your question, that's my answer.
What happens to our kids, though? That's why I'm still out here. That's why I'm out here 60 years later. That's why I'm still out here.
And you are a rare breed.
Yeah.
No,
you are the last of the Mohegans, and you are an institution. Because there's the shame of it all is there's nobody there to take your place. There's not going
That
to be
is
another.
sad.
There's not going to be another you. You know what I'm saying?
That is sad.
You come from a generation of mentorship. You come from a generation of community. You come from a generation of we're going to take these kids, we're going to do for these kids. You come from the generation of Mrs. Underwood, who used to have a bus ride every summer for the kids to Great
True.
Adventure.
True.
You know what I'm saying? You don't got bus rides in the projects no more.
No.
So, and there's nobody really there to replace that. That's really the sad part of it.
I would like to just add
Wow.
that it still takes a village
Yeah,
in the Black community to help our people.
that's right.
And I'm speaking of, because I'm in this skin, it takes a village. And as you said, with community, we need more of that, and sadly, no one is replaceable, right? But hopefully there's someone that's shadowing you or see the work you're doing and wanna, whenever you do leave this earth, hopefully no time soon, but whenever you do leave this earth, there is someone that could at least put the shoes on, but they may not be able to fit them. They may not be able to lace them up, but see the model at what you're doing, because there are different groups that are doing things in the community. I'll say shout out to Football League, and they have basketball stuff, Harlem Jets. I was a part of that. But it takes a village. And I also wanted to just say to both of you all, thank you, because I know y'all impacted families that were single families, right? Because I grew up in the 70s myself. I'm a 66 baby, and I grew up in the 70s, and I had my mother and my father in the same household. But in my development in McKinley houses, it wasn't like that. It was like about four people or so, or five in the building. It wasn't like that. And in the development, a lot of parents were single. I'm a single parent twice.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So these leagues and this, what you're doing, and people that are doing and investing in our youth, you are saving our youth. You are preserving our future. And this is what we need, and sometimes, like you said, somebody showed you and you said, you don't even have to pay. I'm gonna give you a uniform. We did that with the kids. We helped out the kids or did some fundraising for, let them do fundraising to get uniforms for the football league and stuff like that. So it's very needed. And I just want to just say my hat off to you and thank you, because you have saved lives. And, I see Stan here and all the work, and just hearing, you took us on a journey, both of y'all. You took us on a great, and Stan, you as well. It was just a beautiful journey today. But just thank you. And I'm hoping, like I said, they won't be able to lace up the shoes, but hopefully they can follow those footprints.
That's it. You're right. Right.
And kind sir, Mike and Larry, I want to thank you guys for being on the show. And we've gone on over the hour, and you know what? I don't even care. It was just that great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm really happy that I came on. I'll tell you the truth.
And I personally want to say, Mike and Larry, I love you guys, man. You guys really shown so much leadership. So I want to thank you guys for coming on the show, making yourself available, and really sharing this story. That I hope will inspire. Some other people that are listening, and to say that everything in the projects ain't all bad. There's some bad stuff for sure, but there's some great stuff. There's some great people that do great things, and we can be great, no matter what development you're in. No matter what your circumstances are, you can be as great as these two people that we have on this show. So be inspired.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, because we have to prepare for another show that's coming on. Once again, I want to thank you guys. I'm gonna hit the button. I'm about to sign off because we got this big thing that we have going on with Stan at about 6 o'clock.
Stay safe. Stay safe.
100.
Yes, 100%.
We definitely will do that for sure. So I'm gonna hit the button. You want to mention some stuff you're doing next week?
Just no. Just please follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, IG, and Twitter, and watch, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is One Nycha TV. Thank you.
And that's before.
And also, we'll be back on. All my friends, I'm gonna be back on the 6th for my Queensboro president campaign. So come check it out and find out what that's all about.
What page are we going to stream from on that?
You're going to stream from my page. So everybody, everyone here should, these two guys are my friends on Facebook, and hopefully all the others will tune in and let's start this movement.
So we're going from the Stan Morse
Right,
page.
Stan Morse page today.
All right, perfect. So listen,
right.
we'll see you guys at 6. We're gonna break,
Thank you.
and it's on. Thank you all so
Let's
much.
go
It was
off.
wonderful.
Thank y'all.
One night to one people.
One night.
One night to one people.
All right.
One night, sir.
But